Hello and welcome. My name is Tulisha Francis as usual. I want to welcome you to the month of March. Now, this particular month, we'll be talking about depression. We'll be looking at different issues about depression, looking at the difference between sadness and depression, depression myth and what the truth is about depression, how do you handle depression, or how do you even know that you're depressed in the first place. So I want you to open your mind and be ready to learn. So to kickstart today, or this particular week, we'll be looking at sadness versus depression. But perhaps before I begin, so what exactly is depression? At what point do you realize that you are depressed? Well, the truth of the matter is, before you can see that you're depressed, you must have been sad for a very number of times. So sadness begins before depression. Now, before you can say you're depressed, you must first of all be sad. And it is this sadness after a very long period of time, let's say month, before you can answer that you're depressed. So that means that you can be sad and not depressed, but you cannot be depressed and not sad. Now, the interesting thing that you hear these days is just over a few number of days or few hours, people say, I'm depressed. But the truth of the matter is, you cannot just come out to say you're depressed without having experienced sadness for so long a number of days. So depression is an emotional situation in which you are not happy for various reasons, for different reasons. You just realize that things are not going on well with you. Well, in an article that I'm going to post in the link below, you'll be able to read more about depression and the types of depression. But for this particular episode, let's look at sadness. So what exactly is sadness? Sadness is momentary or for a short period. So sadness exists for a short period. That is, it is possible for you to be sad today and be happy tomorrow. You can come back from work and say you're sad, or from school and say you're sad. What that really means is that you have had an experience for that particular day or for just few hours that has dampened your morale or that has brought about unhappiness to you. Now, it is okay for you to say that you're sad, but again, how do you now get out of that moment of sadness? Alright, so the thing that you need to know about sadness is that, number one, sadness is for a momentary period. It is not something that lasts for so long. The moment it begins to last for so long, let's say 1 month, 2 months, then you can come to say that you are depressed. So depression lasts longer. Now, what does this mean? This basically means that before you can say you're depressed, it means that you have been sad for so long, unlike just sadness that exists for a short period of time. But the moment this short period becomes long period, then it's no longer sadness, it is now depression. Now at that point, you can now say, I think I am depressed. But again, it's not sufficient for you to just say that you are depressed. It means that you need to find someone to diagnose you before you can say that you are depressed. Another thing about sadness is it can easily leave you. Sadness can leave easily. Sadness can leave easily. Now, why can sadness leave easily? That is because if, for example, I am sad and I receive good news, that good news can take over my sadness and I become happy again. Now, this is because my sadness may be dependent on different things. Maybe dependent on the fact that I could not hit a target at work, maybe dependent on the fact that I failed a particular subject or course in school, maybe dependent on the fact that I asked a lady out and she told me no, or your relationship ended abruptly without you being happy about it. So sadness can occur easily like that. When there is a change in situation, when there is a change in the things that we love the most, sadness can occur. However, where depression differs is you do not become depressed all of a sudden. No, you cannot have a bad experience today and become depressed. It means for you to be depressed, your sadness or that particular sadness must have existed for long. So do not wake up to say I'm depressed today. No, you can simply say I feel sad about what I'm going through. I feel sad today. I am unhappy today. Usually when people walk up to me and they say, Tulusha, I am depressed, the first question I ask them is, how do you know that you are depressed? What makes you think you are depressed? How long have you had this experience or this feeling? Now, the moment I realize that I have only had this feeling for a short period of time, then I begin to ask you certain questions just to know what changed about your situation. Because anything that has to do with what is dear to us, anything that is dear to you, can bring about sadness the moment that thing is removed from you. Loss of a loved one, loss of job, loss of relationship, and any other thing can bring about immediate sadness. And when I say immediate, picture this. Picture that you drop this pen and it drops on the floor. Now, that immediate action can bring about sadness, like something that I've held on to dearly and it drops all of a sudden, or you lose grip of it, can make you sad. But let's assume that you have lost grip of that particular thing and you desire to get that thing back, and you remain in that state of sadness. You keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, but you are not getting it. After a while, it is possible for you to move from sadness to depression, but you cannot move from depression to sadness, because this must precede this. What is the conclusion of this matter? What I'm simply saying is, for each time that you're unhappy about whatever situation or anybody, this is what you're feeling. But the moment that lasts for so long, when that continues for so long, then we begin to suspect that this is happening. Now, of course, there are different types of depression, which of course you're going to read in the article below. There's the atypical, there's the seasonal depression, and a host of other ones. There's postpartum and prepartum and the like. But the key thing is, every day when you feel that you're unhappy, when you feel that burden within you, when you feel that void or emptiness within you, begin to look at this first and ask yourself, why am I sad? If you cannot find answers to the reason why you are sad, and you have tried everything, you have tried music, you have tried associating with people, and the feeling is not different, then begin to look at this. However, the moment you realize that your sadness is not leaving you, or you are still sad even after a period of time, please consult a professional to ask you certain questions, either a therapist or a clinician or a psychiatrist, to take you through some diagnostic methods for you to realize or to find out if indeed you're depressed and what type of depression you're suffering from. This will save you a lot of stress from hating people, from hating yourself, and from hating even your environment. As we conclude this episode, let us take away the key point, which is sadness exists for short moments, depression exists for so long and requires a treatment from a professional. Sadness can be momentary. Depression takes a period of time before it surfaces. Sadness can lead to depression or can escalate to depression. Depression doesn't escalate to sadness. It means that there is a journey between sadness to depression and not the other way around. Finally, that I want you to take away is the fact that sadness can leave easily once there's a change in the situation that is making you sad. But depression, in fact, the honest truth is depression may just be mild at a point. It may not completely leave you. I hope you have learned something from the episode of today. Please do not forget that your health is important, and whatever it is that is making you sad, leave it behind and embrace your future. I'll see you when I come your way again. Bye-bye.